Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing good. I'm Mrs. Tutma Bashista and today we are meeting for our social science class. And in today's class, we will be continuing with our chapter Poverty as a Challenge. And in today's class, the topics that we'll be covering are, we'll be looking into the different anti-poverty measures that has been taken up by the government to reduce poverty in India. And lastly, we will be looking into what are the different challenges that our country faces while reducing poverty for the country. So let's get started with the chapter. All right. So as I said, we are doing poverty as a challenge, and in our previous class, you have learned about what is poverty line, how is poverty line estimated. You got to know what are the different causes of poverty. And in today's class, as I said, we will be looking into the different anti-poverty measures taken up by the Indian government, and also know what are the challenges ahead uh, for that are to be faced for reducing poverty from the country. From what would be your learning outcome from your today's class? You will be able to understand or identify the various government schemes which have been introduced for the reduction or for curbing poverty from India. And also you will be able to understand what are the challenges, or you will be able to suggest the various challenges that our country faces to remove poverty. Now, what does anti-poverty means? Anti-poverty means some initiative that has been taken by the Indian government to reduce the level of poverty in India. Even though, if you can see in our previous class, if you can remember, or in the book also, if you can refer, like if you can see, like from the previous time, from the 70s, from 1970s till date, the frequency or the number of the people who are below the poverty line is decreasing. Even though if it is decreasing, the number is still quite high, and we need to still bring the numbers of people below the poverty line to a much more reduced state, or no, in a decreasing rate. So the government of India has the current anti-poverty schemes is basically on two planks. First one is the anti-poverty measures which has been introduced. It is basically for the promotion of economic growth, and secondly it mainly targets the anti-poverty programs. All right, so these are the two. So it has the two sides of the anti-poverty measures of the Indian government is that first one is to promote economic growth, and a second one is to target the anti-poverty programs. You will get to understand what are the anti-poverty programs. Now for economic growth, it is said that for promotion of economic growth, as you can see in the book, like lot of investment has to be made for the education of the people. All right, only when people are educated. Now we got in our previous chapter, one of the chapter was people as resource. When we invest more on human beings, like when the human resource are made more, they are made educated, and people are made more educated, that means what? That will indirectly promote the economic growth of a country, because when people are educated, they can get job opportunities, they can have some income source, and show that they will be contributing towards the growth of the economy of a country. So first one is promotion of economic growth, where it is said that education is made compulsory, where children are encouraged to go to school so that they become qualified enough to get a job for themselves, or to enter into the job, or to get better job opportunities. And in that way it will help them to have contribute towards the economy of the country. All right, and the second one is the different targeted anti-poverty measures. Now different schemes has been introduced. Now anti-poverty measures means the different schemes has been introduced. One of them is MGNREGA. I hope you have heard about that. That is Mahatma Gandhi. MG means Mahatma Gandhi, National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. And this act was introduced in the year 2005. Now, every act has its own aim and objective. The aim of MGNREGA is to ensure a secured livelihood for the people in rural areas by giving them at least 100 days of wage employment. All right, if somebody is not able to find any job, so under MG Narega, it will assure at least 100 days of wage employment, like like people can, those people who are not, those poor people who are not able to find any kind of job opportunities under MG Narega, they can work at least for 100 days of wage employment, like on a daily basis they will be given some wage. All right, and it is basically given to the adult members to do some unskilled manual work. So to work under MG Narega, you don't have to do like any kind of you don't have to have big qualification, or or any kind of skill is required. Not no skill is required. Like if somebody wants to work in a brick kiln, all right, then somebody wants to work as daily wage laborers, all right, then those workers will come under this act of MG Narega, where for 100 days, where it ensures 100 days of wage employment in a financial year to every household adult members. The second one is NFWP. NFWP, the full form is National Food for Work Program. And this act was launched in the year 2004. Now, what is the aim of this act? It was launched by the Rural Development in 14 November 2004 in almost 150 backward districts of India. What is the employment in the with the aim of generating supplementary wage employment? All right, supplementary, like additional, some kind of additional help. All right, so the main objective is to generate some additional or supplementary wage opportunities, or wage employment to those to almost 150 backward districts of India. All right, and this and if you can see, one common thing about this program is that all these programs are basically aimed for the people in rural areas where they do not have much opportunities. All right, so these anti-poverty programs are basically targeted to the people in the rural areas. Now, why rural areas? Because in the urban areas opportunities are more. People can find ways to at least earn one day meal, or at one day's sustenance can be done in the urban areas because opportunities are more. But in the rural areas, that is not the case. So that is why most of these schemes are in the rural areas. The third one is PMRY, Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana. It was another scheme which was introduced in the year 1993, and it has and it was initially started to give employment to over 1 million of people by starting 7 lakhs micro ventures by the jobless educated youth. Now, what is the aim of this under this scheme? Under this scheme, those youth who are jobless but they're educated, all right, educated unemployment, right? People are educated but they're not finding any job. So it is basically started by the educated jobless youth, like small business of their own. They can start small business of their own under this scheme. So in that way, what they can become self-employed, at least they can have some earnings for themselves. So this was the PMRY scheme. Next is REGP, that is Rural Employment Generation Program. This scheme was introduced in the year 1995. It was again in the rural areas, and its aim is to develop the entrepreneurial skill and attitude among rural unemployed youth. Now, entrepreneurial means, but there are many people in the rural areas who have this idea of how to do business, but they are not getting any scope. They do not have any investment. All right, they don't know, like they don't have money to start their own business. So under this scheme of REGP, it will provide financial help for it will also facilitate participation of financial institutions for higher credit flow to rural industries. Like money will be provided to the rural industries, so and also to develop the entrepreneurial skills among the rural unemployed youth. It will provide help, some financial help will be provided to these people, so that they can also start their own small business and they can become self-employed. Okay. The next one is SGCY, that is Swarna Jyoti Gram Swarojgar Yojana, and this act was introduced or launched in the year 1999. This is also again a self-help group. Now, what does self-help group means? Like, instead of going, like, we do savings in banks, right? We all, from our earnings, we put some money in the banks. So self-help group means what? Like, these are also like some organizations in the local level. All right. So it aims at promoting self-employment to villagers through the establishment of self-help group. All right, like for example, they will teach tailoring, how to do tailoring. All right, then like those parlor work. So those are self-help groups, and from that also they will save. They will always have, from whatever their earning is, they will try to save 100 rupees, 200 rupees from their income, so that it is helpful for them in their future use. All right, and the aim of this act, it is basically established by the aptitude and the skill of the people, which are nurtured to their maximum potential. As you can see in the image, if somebody is good in stitching and weaving, so training will be given to them in weaving or stitching or tailoring. All right, so that they can at least open something of their own, and they can earn something and have a basic required life, sustaining life. All right. The next scheme is PMGY, that is Pradhan Mantri Gramodaya Yojana, and this act was launched in the year 2000 in all the states and union territories. In what is the objective of sustainable human development at the village level. So its basic aim is to the human development at the village level or at the rural level. All right, and it has got it basically aims 5 components. What are the 5 components? Improvement of health. Primary health should be improved, education should be improved, there should be rural shelter, drinking water facility, and good nutrition. So these are the 5 components or parameters that falls under this PMGY Act. Okay. The next one is AAY, that is Antyodaya Anna Yojana, and under this scheme, it is an initiative by the Indian government for almost 10 million of the poorest families, and it looks out for the poorest of the poor family. There is also something called poorest of the poor. Among the poor also, who is more poor, that is known as poorest of the poor. And this act aims at providing 35 kgs of rice and wheat, all right, at a very subsidized rate, at a very low rate, so that people can afford, so that at least they can have rice and dal and sleep. So at rupees 3 and rupees 2 per kg respectively. All right, so 35 kgs of rice, you can per kg it will be 3 rupees, and wheat it will be per kg 2 rupees. So in that way, people can at least buy something for themselves, some food for themselves. So these were the several acts, the 7 X, that is AAY, Antyodaya Anna Yojana, then PMGY, Prime Minister Rozgar Gramodaya Yojana, then SGCY, SGSY, Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarojgar Yojana, REGP, Rural Employment Generation Program, PMRY, Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana, and NFWP, National Food for Work Program, and the MGNREGA Act, that is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Now the next one is the last part, is challenges. What are the different challenges? Even though the steps that has been taken by the government, the anti-poverty measures have been taken, still there are many challenges for removing poverty from the country. Providing we still have a long way to go. There are still villages which do not have proper hospitals. Better healthcare facilities is required. Education, where there are still people where they do not know they're still illiterate people. Education is required. Job security, more of employment opportunities should be open. Then gender equality, when we stop discriminating between man and women, or a boy or a girl, that also is all, sometimes it becomes a cause of poverty. Why? Because as you can see, if in a house, it is usually believed that the man goes out for work. Now if you treat men and women equally, do not there are societies which thinks that women should only stay at home and cook. Rather, staying at home and cooking, women should be encouraged for education. Women should be given more education, so that they can also get some job for themselves. All right, so these are the different challenges that still we have, and we need to achieve those challenges. We need to, overcome those challenges. um, and also more challenges, like there is, as I said, there is a huge disparity between the rich and the poor people, and also between the people of the rural areas and people of the urban areas. The poverty level, if we see in rural areas and urban areas, is not the same. In rural areas it is more, in urban areas it is a bit less. So again, we need to work on, that also needs to be reduced, where, the poverty level gets reduced, no discrimination is made between anything. Then the vulnerable groups, those groups who are already backward, more opportunities should be given to them, so that they can also come to the forefront and, uh, avail all the opportunities. And education should be made available, should be made compulsory for everyone. And to overcome these challenges, the only way it is what, to have more of employment opportunities, to have, make education compulsory for one and all. Everyone should be given education. Then empowering women should be given more empowerment, so that they're encouraged to come out of their home and earn something for themselves and for their family. And also, most importantly, we should keep in mind that the population control should be there. If in a family there is more of people who needs to be fed upon, and there's only one person who is earning, definitely that family or that person will be below the poverty line. So population first of all needs to be brought under control, and along with that there should be more of job opportunities. There should be no less of gender discrimination. There should be no education should be made compulsory for everyone. If all these are, equally done, then one day we can definitely remove poverty from our country. With that, students, we have come to the end of this chapter, poverty as a challenge. I hope this chapter you have got some insight into it. We shall end this class here. We shall meet in the next class with another new chapter. Thank you, everyone.